the playoff picture in the NFC with the victory over the Chiefs, the Cowboys within 1.5 games back of the Niners for the final wildcard spot. Now, Dallas travels to Detroit next Thursday.
Yeah.
That is absolutely massive. And the Packers will be paying attention on Black Friday as the Bears travel to Philly to play the NFC East leading Eagles. But, you know, we said we were giving Jerry his flowers a couple of seconds ago. But at the end of the day, if you're the Packers, this is why you invest in Micah Parsons.
Bingo. You know, you went out on a day you needed it because you see how much that game meant in the playoff picture.
Yeah.
Basically, you're in or you're out looking forward. You go on a short week, Thanksgiving, into Detroit, and your biggest star showed up. And I'll say this, a lot of times, Jay, when you have these super talented guys in this league, not everyone, but a lot of them will kind of show up in flash moments. Hey, they're the man. They don't need to show up. They don't need to have that engine, that grit. And that's the opposite of Micah Parsons. You see this here. This is another, I like to call hustle sack. Then you just straight up win. He beats Taylor Decker. Boom. Love that. And again, here you get Chip. You wait. You kind of get jabbed by Sewell. And I call this, again, he's relentless. He's finishing the play. When your star players are doing this stuff, it's an unbelievable ordeal. And then I'll say this. The knock is that he's not great against the run. He's been great. Here you go. Off the tight end. Fight through the pulling tackle. Guard. And then you make a play in the backfield. So when you get these elite pass rushers, and I face a lot of them want to sit there on 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10. That's their moment to shine. The rest of the game, they're kind of chilling. You watched this film today. Micah Parsons, every time he was on the field, was a menace. His engine was going. He's the most talented guy in the defense. If you are the Packers, every play, 2.5 sacks he made, the plays in the run game, and you're in that front office, you know what you're saying? He's worth every dollar.
Every dime.
Every dime.
Yeah.
Because you got to think now, with the Bears coming up in the future, they got their sights set on the division lead.
Absolutely. And they're playing on Friday. We're going to talk about that in just a second. But first, I want to mention the Lions. 0-7 on 4th down in their last 2 losses. There was some boos at Ford Field for some of Dan Campbell's play calling. Are we finally at the point where Dan, and we love Dan.
We love Dan.
We love him. But are we finally at the point where he really needs to dial it back a bit in these situations?
Help me out here, Jay. I'm not sure. Is the saying, I think the chickens have come home to roost?
Is
that the saying?
Yes, I believe it is.
So I'll say this. You know, I love the aggressive mentality. We love Dan Campbell here. And I think when you look at last season, it's a bit of a different ordeal with regard to your offensive line and your play caller. So it was great. When you have now, he's coming out of retirement, Ragnow, Decker was a year younger, the interior was a little more shored up, and it's like, hey, we have this threat of running the football, and on the flip side, we can throw. At this point, you're into some backable linemen because you've had injuries. Amon-Ra's not on the field. Like, some of these have to come into contention here. Now, that play, Jameson Williams should make 100 times out of 100. It's one he's going to want back.
Yeah.
You know, sure, the throw's a little behind him, but he's obviously made a lot of plays today. But I'll say this, like you said, dating back to last week, it's funny how it goes because when you have these unbelievable offensive line and everything's humming and your 4th downs are rolling, it's like, man, our coach is a genius.
Yes.
But now that the team's not as great, or I should say efficient, because they're a great team on offense and they're not getting the 4th downs, it's like, oh, we need to stop doing it. And that's where I think he's running into a bit of a wall here is you don't have the same Johnnies and Joes that you had last season, and you don't have the same play caller.
Lions and Cowboys next Thursday on TSN, by the way. Cannot wait for this game.
Massive playoff implications.
Playoffs essentially on the line?
And he said for both teams, yes.
Yeah.
And there's a world, depending on what the Bears do, I don't believe in this world, I want to preface this, that both those teams miss the playoffs.
Yes, right.
Which would be wild. The NFC, because of the NFC West, I think there's only going to be one other wild card spot.
And you still firmly believe that 3 teams in the NFC West will make the postseason.
I'm still on that train. I looked at the schedule. I think that the teams that are better in that division have a tougher schedule, will get to 11 wins. And I do believe the Niners are still going to get to 10 or 11 wins despite their injuries. I believe it.